up for ourselves and others. We show respect and responsibility for our learning. We are Dr. Lena Edwards Academic Charter School. Responsibility, respect, trustworthiness, caring, shishna, fairness. Those are the 6 things you need if you wish to succeed. Educating together, that's the attitude of the best for the rest.
We would like to invite Principal James Brewer to share some thoughts with our graduates.
All right, good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? All right. So I want to welcome everyone on behalf of our board, the Dr. Lena Edwards Academic Charter School Board, our CEO, Mr. Garland, Assistant Principal, Mr. Moore, our guest speaker, who I will have the privilege to introduce in a few minutes. But I just want to say thank you. It's been a challenging year. Students, can you tell them it's been a challenging year, right? But now you're getting ready to take your next step. And it was very challenging for me, as it was for them, but 2 incidents made me change my mind about education. One, I was on the way here to work one morning. I decided to take another route to try and beat the traffic. And I come to find out that there was a call to the police that one of our students had a gun. It was divine providence that I happened to show up the same time the police showed up. Turned out to be a water gun. And it was at the same time that Uvalde and other shootings that involved students in schools was going on. You can only imagine what the outcome could have been. So the student was released to school. The police officer told me, Mr. Brewer, this is where I'm going to be. If you need to talk to me, I'm going to be right there. So I went and got this student's mother and the child, and we went right up there on the corner of Union and MLK. And you can only imagine the life lesson that was learned by that student that day. The police officer wound up telling the student, had it been someone else, maybe in another city, this could have ended a different way, as we all know. Especially as African Americans, when you come into a store and a mail and somebody says that you got a gun. That was incident number 1. Matter of fact, that news reached over 4,000 people worldwide because the mother, you can imagine how she came out the house running to come get her baby, took the picture of me, the officer, and the student. I had a recent incident that brought me to tears. And I said, this is why we're here. So even though sometimes my students give us a hard time, but this is all worth it. Because years from now, when you're doing some things like our guest speaker, or some of our board members, and Mr. Garland, who was also a student here when I was a student here. Matter of fact, this is 50 years ago this month I graduated from St. Pat's, 50 years. So this makes it all worthwhile for me. Most of you know my story. I dropped out of school, got my T-shirt from the streets, and one day I woke up because of the training that I had in this school. They used to have this thing called a candelabra, and you can light those candles. And I say that I'm the inventor of the clap on, clap off, because when I came in the building, I know them candles, here he comes. But thank God for good parents, good training, good education, and good people. And so are your students, and so are you parents. I want to thank our staff members, those of you that stayed the course. Thank you. Thank you so much. Give them a big hand. So my message today is simple, students. No matter who comes and goes out of your life, no matter what circumstance you find yourself in, never give up. Keep going. Stay the course. You have people like us that's here to help you, and we're always in your foundation from here on for the rest of your life. So today I welcome you. And parents, give yourselves a big round of applause for the job that you've done. So I'm going to have the privilege at the end of this ceremony to say, coming, but y'all gotta go. But I'll do that a little later. And I just sincerely want to thank you all for being a part of our life and helping me to stay the course during a challenging time that nobody in the entire world in the modern day history has ever seen before. Congratulations and welcome.
It is our pleasure to introduce Karana Johnson, the salutatorian of DLAC's class of 2022. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Dr. Lena Edwards' graduating class of 2022, I would like to welcome and thank you all for attending this celebratory ceremony. I have been a part of the DLAC family for the past 9 years, and I'm honored to greet you today as the salutatorian of our class. There are many people that I would like to acknowledge for their contributions to our success. First, to our principal, Mr. Brewer, and our vice principal, Mr. Moore. We appreciate your hands-on guidance. We would also like to thank the faculty and staff who have guided and supported us throughout this journey. Because of you, we have gained a tremendous amount of knowledge and memorable life lessons. We are truly grateful for all the teachers who have pushed us to achieve our fullest potential. Our experiences have been well-rounded, not only educationally, but through extracurriculars as well. For me in particular, band has played a large role in my school experience. I hope our high school experience will be as pleasurable and fulfilling as these past years have been. To our families, we would not have been here today without your love and encouragement. Thank you for always being there for us when we needed you and for everything you continue to do. To my fellow graduates, it has been a pleasure learning with you all. Although these past few years have been a challenge due to COVID and virtual learning, we have made it here today. We will never forget the friendships we have formed here at DLAC. Together we have shared good and bad times that will stay with us forever. We have all evolved greatly since kindergarten. I enjoyed reaching this milestone with you. Although this is where many of us part ways, I wish you all success and happiness in the next chapter of your lives. Thank you. We would like to welcome Mr. Brewer to introduce our guest speaker.
All right, now for the main attraction. I'm here to introduce Mr. Zeke James. He's a former student at SaintPatrick. He's also my fraternity brother in the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And he's also went to Hollywood to represent the school when they won an Oscar for a documentary called He Makes Me Feel Like Dancing. Our theater is named after the gentleman, Jacques Dembois, who was a principal dancer for the New York Ballet. At that time, Principal Sister Maeve, they all went to Hollywood, and Zeke was one of the main features in that documentary back in 1984. Zeke will correct me if I'm wrong, but it gives me great honor. He's one of those people that I talked about who got their training here when it was St. Pat's, and now he's still affiliated now that it's Dr. Lena Edwards Academic Charter School. Put your hands together and welcome Zeke James, our keynote speaker.
Good afternoon. Oh, excuse me, it's not afternoon yet. Good morning. Principal Brewer, Mr. Garland, faculty, staff, graduates. This is somewhat surreal sitting up here watching the faces come in, the students march in. This is very personal for me because I was here. But I have to clear something up real quick. Now, Principal Brewer talked about He Makes Me Feel Like Dancing. My kids have told me, Dad, leave the dancing to other folks. So be clear, yes, I was on the documentary, but clearly dancing was not in my path or profession. So just understand that it was a great honor and privilege, but we are doing different things now. When I was given the privilege and the honor to speak to you graduates today, extremely excited. But I was nervous like you wouldn't believe, and hopefully you won't see my legs shivering up here as I address this class. Every day in my professional life, I compete for multi-million-dollar opportunities. Every single day. But today, I am addressing the Dr. Lena Edwards Academic Charter School class of 2022 scholars. That is a mouthful, all right? Thank you for that. And like Drake said, started from the bottom, now we're here. So yesterday, you were in kindergarten and preschool. And today, you are marching on to your next steps. And I've also heard that excellence is not an option at this institution. And I believe that based on what I'm looking at. So congratulations to you all. You all should be very proud of the accomplishments and the fact that you're about to embark on a very important next step in your life. My goal today is to share some stories, some insights, and some wisdom to add another flame to your torch as you continue this young and exciting journey. You know, it never fails to amaze me when I look at 8th graders and you don't realize how much power and potential that you truly have. I'm speaking to every last one of you, and I want you to hear me today, okay? The degree of control that you possess as you take on this next important step, if you give me your attention for a little bit, let's discuss a few things that will set you up for success and distinguish you from the pack. Are you okay with that? We okay with that, ladies? Okay. Family in the audience, friends, I'm gonna need you to help me keep these scholars accountable. Hopefully we can do that together. So as I sit here, I reminisce when I used to walk up and down Bramhall Avenue, from Seidler Street to St. Pat's, back home to Seidler Street. There may be some folks in the audience remember Miss Edie's Candy Store on the corner of Union and Ocean, Steak and Take on Jackson or Martin Luther King Drive. Those are the memories, and when I think about the things that I can share, I can go on for hours. So this is an awesome opportunity to go from that to be able to address you today. So 38 years ago, I was sitting in the same pews as you all, 1984, trying to figure out what in the world was going to happen next when I left this church. When you leave here, you're going to celebrate, you're going to read graduation cards, you have conversations with friends and family. You will hear things like control your destiny, work hard, live your dreams, but what does that really mean? When I thought about my approach for today's discussion, I decided to have a conversation with my 14-year-old self. And similar to what I've already told my 2 daughters, and one who just graduated 2 weeks ago from high school, and now she's headed down to Spelman. Over the next few minutes, I would like to share a few points that I know, I don't think, I know, will be helpful guides that will assist as you navigate this next chapter and beyond. So a lot of my lessons came from a curriculum called Honey's Bittersweet Life Lessons. So a lot of my lessons came from a curriculum called Honey's Bittersweet Life Lessons. Principal Brewer, I'm not sure if that's still in print. Matter of fact, I know it isn't. There was a lady named Honey that was invested in my success and decided to dedicate over 20 years of her life to love me, to raise me, and to pledge me at the same time. That lady happens to be my mother, who is here. She had no idea that I was going to say that, but she is sitting in the audience today. Honey implies sweetness, so how she got the nickname is beyond me because she put me through it. Okay, let me tell you, she put me through it, graduates, and I'm going to share some of those stories. But as I reflect, I'm thankful for it. My mother was my first dean of pledges before I even went on my journey for Omega Psi Phi. Although she didn't realize it, she was preparing me for 2 very important lines from a poem called Invictus. You may hear this at some point in your life. It's by William Ernest Henley. I won't recite the poem at this moment, but these 2 lines are very impactful. The first line is, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. The second, I am the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. Real quick, once again, I thank whatever guides may be for my unconquerable soul. And 2, I am the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. So let that sink in. Family in the audience, we have received a blessing and a duty to support these young scholars as they take this next chapter in life. We have to let these young people know that this is the first major step of many, and there will be so many opportunities to succeed, to fail, to grow, to fail again, grow some more. You get the picture. Let's be clear. You all will succeed, but failure is where the growth begins. So I'm asking you, take risks and allow yourself the pleasure of failing. Why am I saying this? So I know you're out of school, but lesson number 1, something I want you to put in your pocket as you leave here. I need every one of you graduates to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You cool with that? Every graduate, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was in college, freshman year of college, not too much older than what you are today, I took a class called physics. I didn't do that well. So I had to drop it and I had to take it when I got back home. No problem. Take it at Montclair State College in the summer, not a problem. My mother, she worked in New York, so she took the bus and the train to work, so the car was home so I could get back and forth to school. To my surprise, my mother told me 2 things. She said, number 1, you paying for it. That's your choice that you dropped the class. And number 2, my car is not moving from in front of this house. So I had to get up at 5 o'clock every single morning to be on Communipaw in Bergen, to catch the bus to Newark, to get on another bus to Montclair. So when I tell you, students, that my mother was a big fan, that I knew the privilege of hard work and sacrifice and being uncomfortable, she lived that creed. So no matter how uncomfortable it made me feel, she stood steadfast in her intentions. But here's the deal. When you are willing to step out of your comfort zone, that's when the growth begins. Some people refer to it as building grit. There's an author that's from Philadelphia. Her name is Angela Duckworth. She wrote a book called Grit. And she said, and I quote, "Grit is about having what some researchers call an ultimate concern, a goal you care so much about and organizing gives meaning to almost everything you do. And grit is holding steadfast to that goal, even when you fall down, even when you screw up, even when progress toward that goal is halting or slow. There are many people that you're already familiar with who have tremendous amounts of grit. Kobe Bryant, Barack Obama, Michael Jordan, Martin Luther King, Venus and Serena Williams, folks in your own families, and the list goes on. No matter what the circumstances, nothing should deter you from your goals and aspirations. Absolutely nothing. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're absolutely right. You have more control over your outcomes than I think you believe, that you even realize. Don't waste that opportunity. Don't let people get in your head to tell you you cannot do, because I'm here to tell you that you can. And you should be able to believe that and move forward. Lesson number 2, don't be complacent. What is complacent? A person who is very pleased with themselves or feels that they do not need to do anything about their current situation. Let me share another quick story. When I was 13 years old, 7th grade at St. Pat's, I thought I wanted to be an engineer. I'm not an engineer, because I was good at math, a subject that I really enjoy and I still do. But let me tell you what happened. In 7th grade, I was that dude. I was the math guy. Everybody knew that I was comfortable with it. I had one of the highest averages in the class. I helped my classmates. I even did some tutoring on the side after school. But something happened. After my first math exam in the fall, first semester, my teacher called my house. And I'm like, wait a minute, Miss Phillips, to be exact, Paula Phillips, some of you may even know Miss Phillips. Paula Phillips called my house, and I'm saying, why is this woman calling my house on an 8 o'clock in the evening? Maybe she's calling me to congratulate me on my test and the fact that I did so well. Well, actually, she was calling to tell my mother I got a 47 out of 100 on my math exam. Talk about being embarrassed, that's an understatement. So then I had to say, Zeke, how do you really feel? So understand something. At that moment, I had to humble myself and reevaluate what I did wrong. I did not let that 47 define me, but it's funny, at 52, I still remember the grade on that exam. I got comfortable and I failed. I got comfortable and I failed. Take nothing for granted, students. Use these moments as growth opportunities and allow yourself to learn from the lessons before you. Let's take the word growth real quick, because we've been talking about growth through this conversation, and give each one of those letters a meaning. Maybe something you'll remember, maybe you won't. This will make my message to you that much clearer for you to understand. G-R-O-W-T-H. G, we're going to use it for grit. We already talked about grit. Passion and perseverance for long-term meaningful goals. Don't ever allow life's curveballs to derail you from your path. I guarantee if you dream it, it can become your reality. Trust me on this. I'm still dreaming, and I'm still achieving, even at 52. The letter R, resilience. I don't think you realize how resilient you really are. You will be faced with adversity whenever you are moving in the right direction. This will come to deter you, but stay steadfast in your approach. Remember, this will not be the popular decision all the time, but stay focused and see it through. The letter O, optimism. Remain optimistic. Your attitude about life and what it has to offer will be your guiding light. Don't underestimate what positivity will do for your outlook in life and the opportunities that are waiting for you. Your positive attitude will even shape how people perceive you. Attitude is a powerful tool. Don't misuse it. The letter W, and I already know you know this one, work ethic. Remember, it's okay to be uncomfortable and work harder than the next person. Put in that time and attention to detail to set yourself apart from the competition. The letter T, tenacity. You are from Chilltown, JC, as we once called it, and you are tougher than you could ever imagine. Don't disappoint the OGs. Don't throw in the towel. Use that towel to wipe your brow and keep moving forward. And for the letter H, I'm gonna give you a twofer. Humble yourself and seek help. I'm gonna say it again. Humble yourself and seek help. Don't ever be too proud to ask for help and mentorship. I promise you, you will not do this thing called life alone without it. Seek support. Top performers do it all the time. Please put your pride aside and solicit wise counsel. World-class athletes, entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, you name it. They all have mentors and coaches. So, as I shared with you earlier, Invictus is a poem that I've been reflecting on for over 25 years of my life because it's a source of power and inspiration for me. I'm going to read it to you real quick. It doesn't take long. But Invictus is a poem by William Ernest Henley, and it goes like this. Out of the night that covers me, black is a pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I've not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Through this place of wrath and tears looms but the harvest shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Invictus. As I conclude, I would like to leave you with a quote from Aristotle. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Scholars, I thank you again for this opportunity. Congratulations, be blessed, and may you go forth and do great things.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I saw. All right, it is my honor to present to you the Dr. Lena Edwards Academic Charter School